everybody. Welcome back to a new Raw Read pop up. This is going to be something new. I'm not going to go through all the stuff that I usually do on the podcast. I'm just going to pop in here and talk to y'all. I'm not going to do any edits. I'm not going to show my face. I am just going to talk to my people. I'm just going to talk to my tribe because I just want to do more pop ups because with my podcast, it's a lot of stuff that I leave out because I don't have time to jam it within the hour. So I said, a new year, something new. I used to do these in the past. Do y'all remember all my old school? Well, it can't be old school because I haven't been doing it this long, but the ones who really started out with me, this is nothing new for them. I used to do pop ups all the time. And that's why in my intro to my podcast, I always say, keep your notifications on because you never know when I'll pop up. Well, I am going to start to pop up more. Now, it's going to be a lot more raw. It's not going to have a whole lot of edits. It's probably not going to, see, I'm clearing my throat in here. It's probably not gonna be me showing my face all the time. Probably not. But sometime I will, sometime I won't. But I just want the new year to, the podcast and the channel to have new features. It's some other features that I'm thinking about for the reading club that I'm going to do. So we're going to make some changes. We're going to do more things in the coming year. I am excited. I am excited. But pop-ups are going to be something that we're going to incorporate more into the channel. All right, well, let's get started. I'm not going to do the whole big intro because I'm not doing that. That's not what pop-ups are about. Pop-ups are about us, one topic, we talk about it, we kiki about it, we chit chat about it really quick, and we go on and because that is what the podcast is for, to really get into a whole lot of different things that might be going on. But the pop-ups are for things that I don't always get to cover, but or something that has come up really quick and I didn't cover. And that is Harry and Meghan. We're going to talk about Harry and Meghan volunteering, with the wildfires in California and the response that they have gotten to them volunteering. If you hear something in the background, that is my dog. That is going to be the way pop-ups are. You're going to hear all kinds of stuff because I am just doing it on the fly. And like I said, this is just an intimate thing between me and my tribe, and some things it's not going to be polished. I'm not going to edit or anything like that. Usually I edit my videos to death, and but I'm not going to do that. We're just going to sit down and talk about things. And I want to put this up. This particular squatty just kind of said it all, and I want to post it. And it says, not everybody wants to see compassion in response to the Los Angeles fires. Some have another darker, sadder agenda. And y'all know what that is. It has not escaped me at all that when these Los Angeles fires started to break out, evidently a lot of those trolls, a lot of the minions, and a lot of the flying monkeys acted like, and I'm gonna say acted like because I don't want to think that these people is this stupid to think that Harry and Meghan lives in Los Angeles County when they actually live in Santa Barbara County. But basically, what they were pretending was to try to drum up hate against Harry and Meghan, and absolutely to me, giving me the feel that they were rooting for Harry and Meghan's house to burn down. Because even before the fires even really started to affect people. They were trying to connect Harry and Meghan to this fire, saying they possibly could be evacuated. They possibly could be affected by these fires, trying to get people to root for Harry and Meghan to lose everything. I bet you if and I'm just saying, if Harry and Meghan's house was affected, um, those toadies across the pond would absolutely be having house burning parties. I it is it's just that deep for these crazy people. It is just that deep. And this is what this particular squatter is talking about. That these people are literally rooting for Harry and Meghan to be affected by these fires. That their big old beautiful mansion, which does nothing but graze on the last nerve that these people have because Harry and Meghan has worn them down to one nerve, and that house is always has been a huge rub for them. They constantly counting the bedrooms, they're constantly counting the bathrooms, they're constantly talking about the lavish lifestyle. Y'all remember Nana even had a segment saying that somehow Megan should never complain because she spent, what was it? I think I can't even remember. I think it was like 100 or $200,000 a year on their property maintenance and people to clean their pool. I remember that. Yes, I absolutely covered it in a podcast where she absolutely feeling that talking like Megan had no, she should take all the abuse, she should take all of the disrespect because she had a big, beautiful house. This has always grated on their nerve. They have always, for some ungodly reason, and I believe it has come from that family over there, that they have never wanted Harry and Meghan to have anything, especially Harry. We all saw that before Meghan married him. Harry was walking around in rags, holes in his pants, holes in his shoes, living in a shack. I mean, and absolutely scrounging around for a meal because we all know from Spare that William never even invited him over for a meal, but yet and still he was on national television lying when Harry got engaged, saying that he was glad that Harry was getting married because he would stay out of his fridge. And in actuality, that was nothing but a bald faced lie because Harry had never even been over there. The only time Harry went over there is when the Obamas was invited and came to London, and Harry didn't even know his way how to get in there because he had never even been in there. Yes, but this is what's going on. They are taking this tragedy and trying to wish hardship and bad luck on Harry and Meghan. But it goes on to say, but Harry and Meghan blocks out the noise and join the community effort to help. And that's exactly what they did. And like I said, I can't tell you how much nonsense I have saw online from all of these ugly old hags talking about she's doing it for attention. And they always go at Megan. That she's doing it for attention and all this. Megan has been working in her community. This is her hometown. Los Angeles is Megan's hometown, and she has been working and volunteering in her hometown since she was a young child. She worked in soup kitchens with her mother in homeless shelters. This is not new to Megan. And look what happened during the pandemic. Harry and Megan was out there delivering food to people who could not get out, to the shut-ins. Y'all remember that? And it was called Project Angel Food. And I remember seeing the interview with the person who owns it or the person who runs it. I can't remember which one it was, but he was absolutely expressing his gratitude and his thanks to Harry and Meghan. Said he had got so many calls of interest that wanted to volunteer, so many calls of support, so many donations. Since the new when the news broke that Harry and Meghan was out volunteering for Project Angel Food. See, Harry and Meghan have done this since the beginning, and Meghan has done it since she was a child. But yet, and still, these fevered-minded old hags have nothing better to do than to feel bad about themselves and trying to get to a place where they feel better by spewing their bile and hate on Meghan. But like I said, it's a lot of that online, but it is way more pushback. They don't get to enjoy sitting, with their greasy hair and their runny nose with the boogers in the nose and sit there at their laptop and just type out all this bile anymore. They don't get to do that in peace, because for every one of their posts, I go in there, I see it. If they're really nasty, I go in there and it is always three, four, five, sometimes more than I can count, people who are absolutely as handing them their arse back at them and absolutely going in and dealing with them right where they are. And I'm telling you, it is such a wonderful thing to see that they no longer can do this nonsense in peace. But yeah, so none of this is new to Megan. Megan has always been doing this. She was raised to do this. She was raised to help people. The producer of her show Suits told the story about how she saw how the food, after they got through shooting, their series, how the food would be thrown away, and how Megan made it her business to go through all the red tape and to be able to donate that food to people who actually was in need. This is what she has been doing. And let's not even go into all of her volunteering in Africa, in India. This was all before Harry. But yet and still, these people who sit behind their laptops and their computers, who does nothing for anybody else, they do nothing for society at large. They just sit around and criticize someone else who is absolutely trying to do something to help. They are parasitic. I saw, a lot of squatties and a lot of Megan supporters calling these people parasites. And I think it is perfect. And especially people like Kenzie Schofield and all of that nonsense over there on Talk TV and GB News, and especially all of those professional grifters who have channels on this app right here. They are nothing but parasite. I was going past stuff today, and I saw that old Patina. That what her name is, Pedina. I saw her. She done made a new video, and that's all she does, and want to call Harry and Meghan irrelevant, but yet and still you live off of them. You're a parasite. You are nothing more than a parasitic boil that does nothing but live off of Harry and Meghan's good deeds, their life, their purpose life. And here you are with no purpose, living off of them. I'm just saying. And my whole thing is, it's not just Harry and Meghan helping. I'm gonna put this up. Look at Angelina Jolie. It is nothing said about anybody else who's out there, well-known people out there helping people. And Angelina Jolie, I found this in People, and it says Angelina Jolie opens her homes to friends amidst LA fires. She's doing everything she can to help, source says. And I saw a video of her loading up food, and they were harassing her, talking about, is she helping people with, within the, her friends and that have lost so much in LA. And she said, I'm helping the people that are at my house. They are literally at my house. What are you doing? And I'm just saying, and she was with her kids, and they had a camera in her face. But I digress. This is what these people are doing. And she gets a lot of flack, but she doesn't nobody gets as much hate as Meghan. Meghan is the number one targeted person who does nothing but try to do good for people. I'm telling you. And also, I'm going to put this up. Jennifer Garner was out there. Now, I am not Angelina Jolie and Gardner. I love Jennifer Garner. I do. I love her. And she reminds me of Megan. Her heart. She has a really good heart, and she constantly, and she's that kind of, lifestyle person too. And so I love Jennifer Garner. I am not saying anything bad about her. She does not get the flack that Megan does. And Megan does more. I'm just saying. It says Jennifer Garden volunteers to feed first responders with World Central Kitchen amidst LA fires. And that is the reason why Harry and Meghan was down there, because they have a long relationship with World Central Kitchens and Chef Jose Andre. I saw a video of Chef Jose Andre hugging Meghan. The moment he sees her, he hugs her and he just engulfs Harry, because these are his friends. These are the people who support his initiative. These are the people who put their money where their mouths are, not some person I will not name in this podcast, they had that whole thing about he had stole Chef Jose Andre. And Chef Jose Andre did not even show up to Earth Flop. He didn't. And it was all about his brother, all about show. And Harry let them know he was not going to change not one bit his feelings about Chef Jose Andre, because at the end of the day, people, people who mean good know when things are about them and when it's not about them. Only very emotionally retarded individuals do not have the ability to understand that. That is why, if you go back in my podcast, when all of this nonsense they were having up over there talking about he had, somehow stole Chef Jose Andre from Harry, I said, this is nothing but nonsense. This is not this is not how mature people act. This is not how people who are really in it to help people behave. And I said, Harry's relationship with Chef Jose Andre was not going to change. And guess what? It did not. Not because he sits on a board of Earth Flop. Harry, I bet you, but if the shoe was on the other foot, all the money would have been pulled out of World Central Kitchen if somebody else, I'm not going to call the name, but we all know who I'm talking about, had invested in it, and then Chef Jose Andre then associated himself with Harry. Money would have been pulled out. But Harry and Meghan are not those people. They're not like that, because they know how to separate themselves from when it's about them and when it's not about them. And I would not support them. I would not have a podcast if they wasn't those kind of people. I always knew that they were that kind of people. So this is my point, and this is why I fight so hard for this couple. I know I went off on a tangent. Y'all know I do sometimes. But I had to say that. These are the kind of people Harry and Meghan are. And that is why it makes me so mad when people literally attack them for doing good, attack them for being who they are. They just cannot get their head wrapped around the fact that Harry and Meghan are just decent people. They come from decent people. How can Meghan not be a decent person and be the child of Doria? She came from Doria, someone who has done nothing but volunteer and try to be a help and a asset within her community. She had her small child, serving meals at a homeless shelter. This is who Doria is. And this is who Meghan came from. And this is what Meghan grew up in. The same thing with Harry. How could Harry not be a good person? Well, we all know some of them, it's possible because that brother is. But Harry is the one that inherited Diana's heart. He did. And he has not been any different his whole life. It has shown the son that inherited Diana's heart. I mean, it's something you can't fake. We see the fakery in the other one. But Harry, this is who Harry is, and he has been consistent his whole life. The other one saying that, all of a sudden he wants to carry on his mother's legacy, and he is past 40 now. Never started until he was 40, and that's all he does is use his mother's name. Harry has built on Diana's legacy. He wants to take advantage of Diana's legacy. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this was the write up in People magazine about Harry and Meghan visiting the Eden fire victims in Pasadena, California. And the name of the article is Meghan Markle and Prince Harry visit Eden fire victims, distributing food and supplies. They wanted to be as helpful as they can be, Pasadena Mayor Victor Gardo said of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are doing their part to help those impacted by the deadly wildfires in Southern California, which is her home. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry is doing their part to help those impacted by the deadly wildfires in Southern California. The Duke and Duchess, who lives about 90 miles north of LA area, visited the World Central Kitchen in Pasadena, California to help distribute food and supplies to victims of the Eden fire on Friday, January 10th. People understands that they focus on discreetly supporting wildfire efforts, relief efforts, witnesses both harrowing stories and strong community spirit. They donated essential supplies, served meals with World Central Kitchen, and connected with affected families and elderly individuals. And that's exactly what they did. They didn't come there as a showboat. I saw a video where they were interviewing Gavin Newsom's wife, and they didn't even know Prince Harry was back there working. Him and Meghan was back there working. They had masks on, and even the news organization, the news reporter, didn't even recognize Prince Harry and Meghan. So they didn't come there as a showboat, and eventually somebody recognized them, and then that's when it happened. And they never gave any interviews. And my whole thing is this, I'm just going to say this, I don't care if they had a gave an interview. I believe that Harry and Meghan should stand 10 toes down in who they are and forget trying to shape and pull your life back because of what the trolls and what those toadies and flying monkeys will say across the pond. Let them go head on. I have gotten to the point that I don't care what they say, but whatever they say, it is going to be a equally strong pushback on it. Let's just absolutely go toe to toe with these people. Let Harry and Meghan live their life. They should be able to go and volunteer and not worry about what is going to be said about it. But they did do it discreetly. They did not go there and pretend like here I am, just like none of the people there did. And it goes on to say, in footage published by the local news outlet Fox 11, the pair was joined by Andre and was seen reversing with Gardo and fellow volunteers. It's great people, great personality, and great heart for them to come out here and meet with the first responders, meet with people who was affected, Gordo told the news station. It's very important. Well, there you go. And it goes on to say, along with Jennifer Newsom, California's first partner, and Pasadena Mayor Victor Gordo, they thank first responders, including LA County firefighters and police. In footage published by the local news outlet Fox 11, the pair was joined by Andre and was seen. Well, I did that already. And it says Meghan, who was born and raised in LA, and Harry's time in Pasadena included a stop at a command post in the Rose Bowl where people were very happy to see them, Gordo said. They wanted to be as helpful as they could be. We visited with some of the affected families and in some of the burn areas in Pasadena, and they took time to meet the people that was affected and spent time. They just they are just very caring people. Now, this is what I'm saying. And I know to all of the toadies, all of the flying monkeys, all of the potato head and the hags, that these words just burn their ears and their souls to hear this man say what he said, because it's true. It's true. Harry and Meghan are just good people. And these people, some of the, especially the grifters, have just made a living out of painting these two people, these two kind, loving, sweet people, as demons, as evil, as hateful. And in actuality, they left all of those people across the pond. That's what I'm saying. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up, and this particular squatty is pretty much saying what I had said earlier about nobody even knew Harry and Meghan had been there. They had been there for a long time, had been there twice. On their last time being there, that's when it was found out they were even there. They had been there prior and nobody even knew it. And this particular squatty said this: it's the way the governor's nuisance wife did a whole interview while Harry and Meghan volunteered in the background, and the reporter had no clue that they were there. Exactly. If they were so attention seeking, like the trolls, like the toady said, if they always made it about them, why would they wear masks? Why would they not even allow anybody to know that they were there? They came there to work. And that's it. All right, I'm going to put this one up, and it's just like the one before it. It's another squatty commenting on Harry and Meghan, how they came there to work. They didn't make any kind of announcements that they were going to be there or anything like that. They were actually working in the background. And even the news media did not know that they were there. And this particular squatty said this. I'm putting it up. It said Fox News was reporting on California's first lady providing meals to the wildfire victims and had no clue Meghan and Harry was right beside her until later. Until later. And then they ran with the cameras to see what Harry and Meghan was doing. It is ridiculous. And my whole thing is, if they made an announcement, so what? All they're going to do is bring attention to it and make people want to help more, because we all know that the Harry and Meghan effect is just that. Look at the Angel Food Project. Everywhere they go, where they help, where they show their face, they are actually the roles that really help with a wave and a smile here and there. But those other ones who give people a wave and a smile here and there, they get nothing. But Harry and Meghan showing up brings the power of eyeballs, bring the power of people wanting to help. And so my whole thing is, even if they did show up and made a big production out of it, so what? But they didn't, because that's not who they are. They didn't even know they were there. And I'm going to put this particular post up, and it says, while others trade in petty insults and baseless attacks, Harry and Meghan keep doing what they do best, showing up where they're needed. They roll up their sleeves, literally, and get to work. And that's exactly what Harry and Meghan did. And I love that. I do. And I'm gonna put this up. One of my favorite squatties. This particular person is my go-to all the time, and they wrote this article about it, and it's called. The name of the article is "Harry and Meghan: a compassionate response to crisis." It says, in a world where vitriol often seems louder than compassion, Harry and Meghan continue to set an example that are as rare as it is admirable. Where's the lie? It said recently the couple was filmed stepping up to help with relief efforts following the devastating Los Angeles fires. Amid the chaos and heartbreak, they were seen handing out food parcels and comforting victims, and providing yet again that their focus remain firmly on doing good in a world that feels determined to tear them down. Where is the lie? But we are not going to allow that. That is never going to happen. And we have proven, if we hadn't proven anything, if the Sussex Squad has not proven anything, one thing we have proven is that we will not allow anybody to tear them down. And so far, we've been pretty doggone successful at our goal. I'm just saying. It also goes on to say, Harry and Meghan are no stranger to criticism. From the moment that their relationship became public, a relentless campaign of character assassination, led by the British tabloid media and encouraged by certain members of the royal institution, has sought to paint them as out of touch, self serving, or worse. Well, it's a lie. But we all see. I think I mentioned in one of my podcasts earlier about what my grandmother used to say, that a tree is known by the fruit that it bears. She says that's in the Bible somewhere. And she said, you just continue to be a good person. You just continue to consistently be who you are. And eventually people will figure it out. And that's the way it is with Harry and Meghan. They are becoming known by the fruit that they bear. And what kind of fruit is that? Kindness. They are bearing fruit of being loving. They're bearing fruit of being compassionate. And they are bearing fruit of showing up and doing good. And people are really starting to see this, are really starting to respond to this, and really starting to push back on the ones who have had all this time to just spew their bile and all their hate and all their disrespect in peace. And now it's no peace for them to have. People see exactly who this couple is. And like I said, people who are not even squatties, not even supporters, just decent people see what's going on here. And they're pushing back on that. They'll make a comment, and I'll go in there to see what other people are saying, or if they're agreeing with this nonsense that they have posted. And it is nothing in there but people defending Harry and Meghan, who are absolutely ripping them to shreds. And I don't know. Some people say, it's not good to push back, but y'all know I have always said that this is the year of the pushback. And I believe that if anytime you are met with the same energy every time you post something that's really, really disrespectful, really, really, really nasty, it's going to make you a little hesitant about doing that. Because what I have noticed about all these trolls, these toadies, these flying monkeys, these ugly old hags, minions, and potato heads, are that they are very thin skinned. They can dish it out, but they cannot take it. And that is the weakness that we need to work on right there. That's their Achilles heel. Just like they figured out Meghan was Harry's Achilles heel, we have figured out that their thin skin is their Achilles heel. And we are going to be at it all the time. Every time they say something about Meghan, we're going for their Achilles heel. And I've been doing exactly that. But yes, I love this particular article. And basically, what he's saying, and it says, and yet every time they drug through the mud, they emerged not with bitterness or retaliation, but with grace and compassion. This latest act of service is just one more example of their resilience in the face of absurd scrutiny, where it's a lie. Meanwhile, they continue to be accused of being irrelevant by the very people who can't seem to stop obsessing over their every move. It's hard not to see the irony. And they're parasites, just like I was saying. But yes, somehow everywhere they go, they affect people's lives, but somehow they're still irrelevant. Give me a break completely. What is what I say? Miss me completely with that nonsense. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this one up, and this particular squatty posted some excerpts from an article. I don't know where they got it from, but it is really good. It just kind of gives us the highlights of what Harry and Meghan's going down and visiting these people. And it gives a story of Harry and Meghan. Well, Harry meeting this man and who has been affected with the fires. And it's such a beautiful story. So I want to share it. And then I'm going to read what this particular squatter wrote in the post. And like I said, this is a story that the Pasadena mayor was telling to the news media. And it says, at one point, Gordo said, and Gordo is the Pasadena mayor, said he lost track of Harry. A few minutes later, he spotted him sitting next to a bedridden elderly man. Gordo pushed a food cart over, and Prince Harry asked the man if he wanted a sandwich, maybe a tangerine or some water. The gentleman said, what I'd really like is a donut. Gordo said as he described the moment. Prince Harry said, there's no donut here, but I will find one. He takes off, and 10 minutes later, he returns with a donut. The gentleman looks up and says, I guess I needed a card and my sugar. The gentleman tonight is at the convention center and does not know it was Prince Harry who brought him the donut. Yes, Harry is Diana, reinforce. I mean, he has Diana's heart. I'll put that way. He is Diana personified, and it goes on to say he did tell Prince Harry, if you ever run for anything, I'll vote for you. Gordo described the man as saying, as the youngest son of King Charles III, and the late Diana walked away. The visit by the couple who lived in Montecito, it was hastily organized, Gordo said, but it was full of humanity, including serving food, greeting the first responders at the Emergency Operations Center, and ultimately meeting and hugging with people rummaging through the rubbles of their homes. The couple was reported to have opened their home to friends forced to flee the Los Angeles fires. Tragedy often brings out the best of humanity, a grateful Gordo said. My heart goes out to all the people who has been affected by this devastation brought on by this fire. I witnessed neighbors helping one another selfishly, first responders leaving it all on the field. The mayor added, this the mayor added that the message here, from the very top of the social escalon to the most in need, we all have to bind together in this moment. Is that not beautiful? Harry, he is Diana's son. I saw that they put Charles in there, but Charles went to a food bank in a Bentley. He opened 2 food banks and he drove up in a Bentley. This is who Charles is. And he always is looking for the money shot. That's what all those people over there are. But Harry said in, I think it was in the Harry and Meghan documentary, that he's never felt like he was part of those people. He has always felt different. And he is different. That's all I'm saying. And the squatty who posted this said, let's wait and see what scathing articles come out of the UK, full of lies, claiming to know exactly what Harry and Meghan did, what was said, what people thought of them. This from an island over 5,000 miles away. In the meantime, here in America, people are absolutely binding together. Harry and Meghan are out there doing good, and people are welcoming their kindness. I'm just saying. All right, this is the last one I'm going to put up, and this particular squatty said this. Well, it's a post of a post. The original post said this: Princess Meghan truly came to help those affected by the California fires because this is her home state and her hometown. Let me tell you, but not Pasadena, but LA is her hometown. This is her home state. And it said Harry and her both are also a huge believer in first responders and the work that they do. They've been there during the day to help too. They were there during the day. They were there twice. They only discovered the fact that they were there later on. Look how it is film of Harry and Meghan working in the background and people not knowing who they are. They intentionally put on masks. People did not recognize them. They came to help. And I love that about them. And this particular squatty reposted that and said this: exactly like what Diana would have done and always did, going to the place that needed help without much fanfare. Service is universal. Harry and Meghan offering support to their community. Their presence, physical and actual support. Love the hugs with Chef Andre. Yes, I did too. And you can tell that him and Harry and him and Meghan, that him and this couple have a friendship. It is not something to one up anybody. It is a friendship and a dedication to the same thing, and that is to do good, to help someone, to be there in the time of need, not some kind of one-upmanship that those folks play over across the pond. These are real people with dire strait. And these people wrote article after article after article about how William had somehow stolen Chef Andre from Harry. This is the mentality that you're working with when you are dealing with those people across the pond and that family over there. Harry and Meghan are the real deal. They know when it's not about them. And like I said, this is not about them. This is about helping people. And that's exactly what they have done. All right, y'all. I will see you later. And I hope you enjoyed the pop-up. Bye.